And all right, cool. Hello. This is the 88th edition to the Mental Threats podcast. I'm here with a special guest, Upallnite. If you'd like to say something.
How you doing, man? Appreciate y'all for letting me come out. Episode 88. Let's turn up.
Yeah, most definitely. I know you've been turning up for real. I know it's just like get into acting and everything. Junk in the Trunk is out right now, correct?
We're doing the filming for it. It should be out in mid next year.
Oh, so it's gonna take a while, but it'll be out soon though.
So
next year.
The story behind it is it's a feature film. Shout out my man, directed by Mel. Definitely a dope ass director. And shout out Gina Martino casting. I've been working on, trying to, diversify my portfolio a little bit in the sense of just putting myself in situations where I could be more visible. And Gina Martino, I actually worked with her back in what I think it was like 2011. I was a cop in the movie Southpaw, and maybe
like the Southpaw with the Jake Gyllenhaal and everything.
Yeah, with 50 Cent, Jake Gyllenhaal, and all that. Yeah,
that's cool. Oh, I'm talking to a celebrity here. Oh, I see. You got your acting chops out for you. That's cool. So you've been doing it for a minute, like 2011. That was like a decade plus one more year. Like
exactly. Well, not 2011. I'm sorry, I got the year wrong, but the year that Southpaw came, I think it was like 2014. So we shot like 2013. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. That seems a little bit more right. Cause 2011, I was like, I think I was in freaking middle school that time. I don't think that came out then. I was like, hey, no problem. It's still good. It's still pretty good.
Yeah. Nice. She showed love on that. And I've been wanting to like tap back in, but it's kind of been like the films, they kind of get shot everywhere. So when they was in Jersey, I got an opportunity to link up with her, got in. You know what I'm saying? I play a guy named Harry. He's definitely like, I would call him like a certified lover boy. Like he's married, just a strong-willed guy, ex-military experience. So it's definitely gonna be a dope ass production.
Oh, that's really, really cool. But the whole Junk in the Trunk, it comes out in the mid of next year, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, why does it take so long for these movies to drop? Like, is it going to be in theaters or is it going to be like straight to DVD?
It's going to be on streaming services. So it'll be on excuse me, Amazon Prime, the Hulus and stuff like that.
That's good. That's dang good.
It's a dope situation. The reason why it takes so long, it really do be like editing, and then like let's say something wasn't shot correctly, you might gotta do reshoots and shit like that. And then the last thing about it is like the clearances for everything that go into the film. So like like when you watch a film, it got music in it. It might got like product placement and shit like that. And then you got to actually get all of that stuff cleared before you can put it on like a streaming service or put it inside a theater. So that's the reason why it really takes so long.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a whole lot of intricacies that come with the whole movie or film industry and everything. I thought I was seeing like what you were doing. I'm like, maybe I should need to take my steps into it a little bit more.
Bro,
push that forward, because I had goals to try to see if I can get into acting some way somehow this year. But it kind of been a struggle this first half of the year. But I still have faith that maybe I could probably get into a role or something. I think somebody just reached out to me on Facebook in regards to like the film industry. Some guy that like does it and everything wants to hop on my podcast too. So it's just like,
Well, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And I suggest everybody take a stab at it, only because like it's one of those things that like if you like to see progress in yourself, like it's a good piece for that, because how you'll be at the beginning of the film to the end of the film is going to be completely different once you like get comfortable with your character. And I feel like developing that double consciousness of like how to be something that you may not necessarily be helps you kind of be a little bit more flexible inside of different rooms, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could kind of, it develops a sense of being able to read people a little bit better so you can get the best out of your networking experiences. So that's why I tell everybody to kind of like take a stab at acting. But what I was going to tell you is that like the best thing I would do, bro, is I would get some headshots, get like a monologue, and then like record a video, and then just start reaching out to casting agents, bro. Like that's kind of how I do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just make sure I got like some acting material. Make sure that all my headshots and shit like that are up to date. And if you do have any like roles that you were in, you can kind of make acting reels and kind of send them out. But websites like Backstage, stuff like that, Facebook, they always got stuff out there. And you gotta think like it's films coming out every day. Like, you know what I mean? So if you put yourself in the circuit, you'll probably get something out of it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Cause I always had, I think, a strength with acting, like since I realized in middle school, but I didn't really take it too serious or whatever. I didn't realize I was actually I had something of like a bit of a talent with screenwriting until high school when they had to actually have us write plays, little itty bitty plays for us to do. And my plays are usually the ones that was the most memorable, the ones people will like take the most focus into. So it's just like it's just something that it's just a muscle I feel like I didn't get to really develop and like work out, that I feel like, I still got an urge for it, but it's like I didn't really like focus on it. But now that I'm kind of done with school for what it is right now, I want to be able to refocus on my music and other things outside of stuff like that. So it's like just to hear from like your side of things and like how things is ran with the whole film industry, acting industry, and stuff of that nature. And you do music too. It's like I feel like that's a good like reflection into stuff of that nature. So it's like when it comes to like acting and stuff, what do you say is like is the most difficult task for you in regards to like or the most difficult type of process in regards to the whole acting process?
I would say like so another reason why I kind of wanted to do the acting was because I've been in this space where I've been like learning about like sync licensing and music licensing. And essentially what that is when productions come out, commercials, TV, film, they use music, you know what I mean? And gaming as well. Like, so when you have your music licensed, you can submit your music for placements. So maybe like a television show, a commercial, you know what I mean, a game of some sort. So I've been really trying to, work on my licensing so that I could get more sync placements and stuff like that. So, and the best way to do that is, in my opinion, is to get casted for a film, because when you get casted for like indie films and stuff like that, you can kind of develop better relationships with the directors and like the people behind the scenes. I.e., next thing you know, your songs are in film. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, for me, it's always been like a method to the madness. But I would say like the most difficult thing for me in the acting space probably would be like doing character analysis, because I feel like when I first came into it, I thought that I was like watching actors and like trying to like pick up things from them, so I could kind of like add it to my bag of tricks or whatever. But what I learned was it's so much better for you to kind of like do a character analysis, like who is this person that you're playing? When you can do that, the things that you don't think about when you're acting start to come out. Like, one thing that I like to tell people is like, when you're on camera and on stage is two different things. But when you're on camera, you got to remember that like you're not just reciting lines, like you're a live person. So it's the facial expressions, it's the like the little things you do with your hands, it's like the little gestures that you make, like every little thing that you do conveys a piece of the story to the audience. So that character analysis gives you those little ticks for the person that you're being like. And the best way I can describe it is like one of my favorite films is The Dark Knight. And yeah, that's a good ass film, right? So
Very
Heath
good
Ledger, he plays the Joker in there. And like, when the Joker is like talking in there and stuff, he does this thing with his mouth where he like makes a noise, like,
yeah, he
you
does
know what
that
I
a
mean?
lot.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And that comes from him developing the character. Because if you don't develop the character, you're probably just gonna say the lines, like, you know what I mean? But when you develop it, you kind of like give it that nuance, those little pieces to a person that make that person a person, if that makes sense.
Oh
Like,
no. I really get you for real. I mean, good job. But it's like
no,
one
you're
thing that
fine.
is about like Heath Ledger and everything. Before, just to prepare for that role, he had to lock himself in a hotel room and just write inside like a journal, like days, and I didn't have no human contact or nothing.
Exactly. Like
just to get
you
immersed
gotta
in the
do that.
character, like you gotta psychologically build yourself for that character. So that's why I feel like that Joker was such a success. And the cool thing was, it wasn't like a typical Joker. You know what I'm saying? When you think about like the Jokers that came before, like the cartoon Jokers, you think like, oh, he's just a clown. He's just like, but like he really seems to take part of like the whole anarchist side of like, you know, the Joker.
Exactly.
Like it's
Exactly.
just,
Like
that's what I really like. He really breathed new life into it. Where it's like, you know, he's the Joker, but he's not the Joker. He's like the Joker of that world. That's what made the Dark Knight series so wonderful, that it kind of made it more real life in a sense. So it's just, I thought that was pretty cool about it and everything. But if you were, what were some other things that you like about that performance of Heath Ledger and everything?
So another thing that I really liked about the performance was that like the way that we kind of perceived the, all right, let me say it like this. The preparation that he did for the Joker, like you said, like he locked himself in the room and was writing in a journal. When I was in South Paul and Jake Gyllenhaal was playing like the guy Billy, the boxer in the film, like he would prep for the character by like sign like every day you have to sign in so that they could keep the attendance of the people that's there for the continuity of the film. He was signed in as Billy Hope. He wouldn't sign in as Jake Gyllenhaal. So it's like, so those little things, like, so I appreciate that for the I appreciate the effort of preparation that he put into wanting to be the Joker. Like, you know what I mean? Like you said, you got different references of him in different medias, like cartoon, maybe other film versions of them. But like for you to kind of like lock yourself in a room and to like go into that part of yourself where a lot of people try to run from, shows like the attention to detail, the preparation to success. Like, you know what I mean? So I think acting is a discipline where you have to, you can't just jump into it. You got to prep, if that makes sense. And I feel like the better you prep, the better the results are.
Oh yeah, I mean, not just like, yeah, prepping is very, very important and everything, but it's just like, but it's just like the methods of it also, like, like just range is another thing too. But I feel like that, like for instance, like Jim Carrey playing like Stanley and The Mask versus Jim Carrey playing Truman in the Truman Show and everything. It's just like you would really see Jim Carrey as mostly a comedic actor, but like Truman Show might be one of my favorite, like my favorite my favorite characters by do you hear anything in the background? Just asking.
Yeah, I hear a little something in the background.
Yeah, that's my mom being like African. I don't know. She's like she's telling a story and she has to, like, I don't know. She's being her character. That's just it. So it's like so sorry about that for anybody.
No, you fine.
But anyway, but yeah, it's just like him playing Truman in the Truman Show. Like that was like one of my favorite like Jim Carrey movies because it showed like range and everything. He can be serious too, and that was a very crazy concept. Exactly. Being like, imagine your whole life being on TV and you didn't even realize it until you got older.
And then that shows like his attention of wanting to develop too, because a lot of times when you come in as a certain way, you don't get the opportunity to kind of like be seen a different way. Like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of dope. They even did that, even took that role on.
Yeah, no, for real. And one thing I really liked is just like how like even like movies that you don't have to really like act too much. Like for instance, like Friday. Chris Tucker is playing like a pothead and everything, and like Ice Cube just playing like a guy that needs a job and everything like that. But it was just like day-to-day type characters, and they could be actually they just be themselves as those characters, and they'll be a knockout, a park and everything. So it's just like, like there's just so many dimensions to acting that I just love. And I know that we spoke about like the Joker and things of that nature. How do you feel about that guy's portrayal of the Joker in the recent Joker movie?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I actually, you know what's crazy? I actually liked it, and the reason why I liked it is because, like, the version of the Joker that he was playing was like the origin of him was a little bit different than the original Joker in the comic book. So what I liked about Joaquin Phoenix Joker was the laugh that he did. It wasn't because he was, diabolical or anything. The laugh that he had was because like he had a mental illness, like, you know what I mean? And I like the transition from him like fighting his illness to like him just accepting it and embracing it. Like, you know what I mean? I thought that was really good because like when you think about him having that illness where like he laughs in situations rather like he doesn't know how to, he don't understand the social dynamic of situations, so he laughs in situations. It's like that really can get you in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? That really can like put you in a box where you like feel like you ostracized in a sense. But to embrace it, it's like it's like he accepted himself for being different. Like, you know what I mean? So I appreciated that. And then I liked his portrayal of it because like I felt like it was a new version of the Joker, and I feel like people could kind of like identify with it because it showed that the Joker was a man that kind of like had to transform into that rather than the portrayals that we normally see of him as just the Joker. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like you got a little bit more invested into his backstory a little bit. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's like that Joker. It's crazy how we went back on this character again, but it's just crazy how there's so many different dimensions. Like how Jared Leto tried to bring it, and then it was kind of like,
Yeah, and I didn't like Jared Leto. Like I don't really think Jared Leto that good of an actor, honestly.
I think he's good. Have you seen Requiem for a Dream?
I haven't seen that.
You need to see it. Look up Requiem for a Dream if you could write it down. Requiem for a Dream. I feel like that's his best redemption. Even Marlon Wayans was in that movie, which was crazy. Okay. But it's a crazy serious movie, like Requiem for a Dream. I could probably type it in here somewhere. Can I type it? Yeah, I could probably type it. Okay.
Perfect. I'm gonna screenshot it.
Yeah, hold on. I got you.
I'm a movie buff, so I definitely check it out and shit.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss. You know what I'm saying? My apologies.
No, it's all right. It's the Mental Thursday podcast. You can cuss on here if you want. But yeah, Requiem for a Dream. That's it. I typed it right in there.
Perfect.
Yeah. They got Jared Leto and Marlon Wayans in that movie, dude. When I tell you that movie is like crazy, bro. I don't even want to spoil what goes on to it because I actually want you to actually see it and everything, kind of see how you feel about it and how you feel about it from the beginning to the end of the film, bro. It's very eerie.
Oh, it's one of those that you got to actually sit and watch.
Yeah, you gotta watch it and everything, but it's just like, it's one of those movies where like you'd have to be a cinephile to rewatch it again because I don't think people want to watch it again. Because it's just like, it's kind of depressing, but it's like, it's very thriller type, but definitely check it out. I feel like that's Jared Leto's like, that's his magnus opus in my eyes. I feel like a lot of the times I feel like Jared Leto is playing these characters and trying to. I haven't seen the Morbius movie. I don't really know.
I saw it. How
you feel about it?
Yeah, he ain't really do anything special for me. But then again, like I can say that like the way that they kind of wrote the movie, it was limited in the range that he could show. Yeah, if that makes sense, because a lot of the movie was CGI, so it's like it was more so about his origin and displaying his power. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how like some superhero stories, like they want to show the power, but they also want to like show the effects of what this power does to a person.
I mean, like I could see that, but it's like at the same time, you remember the first Spider-Man movie in 2002 with like freaking Tobey Maguire? It's just like they didn't go too deep on everything a spider could do. It's like crawl walls, swing, have some super strength, be acrobatic. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean.
Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to focus your whole movie on like everything a spider could do to make the movie interesting. What made that movie so good in 2002 was like there was a morale issue with that movie. With great power. Well, with a great power came great responsibility. So it's just like, for the Green Goblin to kind of like conflict with him on that level, it's just like, he like, Norman Osborn had great power and he had great responsibility. Even when he was attending to that responsibilities, they just wanted to cut him loose and everything. That's his business, and that's where that's where his conflict of interest, start. So it was a morale issue. It was him trying to balance life as a superhero and a person going to school. It was him like really growing into that role. Like, it was more aspects than just him having powers. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. You sound like you right too.
I mean, I write poetry and like stuff. Like, I'm a rapper myself. Like,
No, that's dope. That's dope.
I
That's
want to
dope.
write a book eventually one day too. And it's just like, it's really just a matter of just like, when I watch movies and read narratives and stuff of that nature, it's more than just, flashy stuff or power stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I literally try to like break down the emphasis of the character, what that character represents, what that character's going through. That's why it's like acting and cinemaphile. Like, I'm such a cinemaphile because it's just like seeing the perspectives of others and how they're actually pushing and everything. It's all interesting to me.
That's fire, bro. That's fire, bro. I can see you making some noise in acting. I can definitely see you making some noise in acting. Like
Maybe one day we'll see when we cross that bridge and whatnot. Is it okay if we got pause for a moment? I gotta do something real quick. Hold up.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So, all right, cool. Yeah, we're back. But yeah, it's just things of that nature. Just not just from acting or watching movies. It can also be like freaking cartoons and stuff like that. Like, breaking down all the aspects of like the narrative, what pushes a character. If the villains are what really catch my eye, because like there could be a whole lot of tragedy that comes with that too, and what drives.
Yeah, I'm an anti-hero. I'm an anti-hero guy.
Like, yeah, I bet you're a big fan of like Killmonger.
Yeah,
Black Panthers too, aren't you?
Exactly. Like,
yeah, it's just stuff like that. It's just that's why Batman's such like one of my favorite superhero characters. I know they like try to make it like to a trend, but he was my favorite because like all his villains, his rogues gallery, were all people of a tragic origin. When you think about it, and they all reflected him to some degree or another. Like he was a rich person. The Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, came from a very affluent family, yet was, felt like was still kind of like an outcast to that degree. Mr. Freeze came from a place of tragedy himself. And like, like in a sense, he isn't wrong for having wanted to seek revenge for the people who did him dirty or put him in that predicament, and then there's that. The Joker reflecting like a duality to his sense of order, but still in that sense, like having still like reflecting like a basis of just they're still both outcasts in their sense, still one focus on anarchy, one focus on order, but still reflecting a certain psychological imbalance on both ends. And it just goes on and on from there. That's why it's just like you got to really look deeper, because I feel like you enjoy things more when you look deeper at it in the root of why
exactly.
you do things more.
The little nuances make the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Plus, I feel like my dad kind of like influenced that too, because like we would watch movies with him like all the time growing up and stuff. So it's just like I guess my love for movies kind of began there and just went into watching stuff like The Godfather, Scarface, Goodfellas.
Yeah, some classics. They cult classics right there. Those are some cult classics right there.
Yeah, no, but for real, but like we had to go like into like what's some of your favorite movies from like the past and everything, like that really really push you into wanting to get into acting and stuff.
So I've always been like a sci-fi thriller and like horror type of person. My favorite movie of all time probably is The Faculty. A lot of people don't know that movie, but I feel like it's like one of the best horror movies ever made. and the reason why I say that is because like in The Faculty, they wanted you to still feel those tender moments like you get inside of like those drama movies, like, you know what I mean, those heartstring moments. And I felt like with The Faculty, you really had the opportunity to like invest yourself with the character. So when the characters kind of like start facing the monster of the movie, you really were rooting for the characters to come to the winning point. Like, you know what I mean? So, and then another reason why it's one of my favorite movies is because I felt like it came out in the 90s and I felt like the graphics for it were just like beautiful compared to like other movies from the 90s. Cause we were definitely not at our best with editing in the 90s. Like, you know what I mean? But it looked like it could compete to this day. Like, you know what I mean? You know how some old movies you don't want to watch? It's like I feel old, but this movie it never feels old, no matter what year I play it. Like, and then Usher was in the movie too. It was he played like a football player in there, so I'm like, yeah, this is a good ass movie.
Usher was in a movie called The Faculty.
Yeah, bro, you gotta check it out, bro. You gotta check it out.
And I remember Usher being in a movie like where I think they're in school or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he was in school. Yeah, he was a little teenager playing on the football team and shit. But another crazy point was like, it was one of those teams. You know how like nowadays, like a lot of TV and film is like based off of like teens and what they go through. Like Euphoria is one of the biggest shows like that right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Because a lot of the situations in Euphoria seem like kind of, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but they seem kind of like it seems like some things that we don't really seem to have much of a conversation on. Like, like
exactly.
The spectrum.
And the faculty did that. The faculty did that before. I felt like before, like we really saw that as much as we do now. Because I could tell you, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you got to check that out. Whenever you get a chance, check that out.
Oh, yeah, drop it in the comments. So maybe I can be able to, like, if you can, drop it in the chat so that way I could be able to look it up, like, for sure. But yeah, movies are weird that way. It's just sometimes it'd be like stuff that people don't hear of like a whole lot and anything that it's just like that's what really grabs you attention. Yeah, The Faculty, I see. But it's like yeah, man, it's like even like with like I feel like in my genres, the genres that I seem to like the most are like, hood movies, like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, things like Caught Up, it's just like all types of hood movies.
So if you like hood movies, you gotta check out this and shout out Murder Pain for this, because he's actually like one of my people that I look up to in like the entertainment industry. But he started this web series called Grow Ab. It's on Tubi and all the streaming platforms and stuff like that. But I feel like that's one of the best hood movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, like, is it like in the modern day, or is it just like in the 90s?
It's in modern day. It's in modern day. They're in Detroit. And not giving it too much away about the story, it's like a coming of age story a little bit, and it's like a story where like you can't hold one person to the circumstance that they're presently in, if that makes sense. Like, it's one of those coming of age movies where it's like people are going through different things and it's showing what they're ultimately going to be. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a different take on like just the hood a little bit, even though it's still got the the drugs and the violence and all that type of stuff like that. I feel like it's just a little different take on the hood movie. I feel like that make it a little gem.
Oh, well, that's cool. I should definitely look into it whenever I find the chance. I always want to get into like a hood movie and everything. If I can get into a movie, that'd be like if I had a bucket list, I definitely want to be in a superhero movie, hood movie. A gangster flick would be nice too. Yeah. Maybe a love story movie. That'd be pretty cool too, and everything. But I would really, if I can get like a whole lot of acting credits, it's just it ain't gotta be blockbuster movies, but just something
exactly. I'm the same way, bro. It don't gotta be a blockbuster for me. I just wanted to be a good film, like, you know what I mean? Like something that I would watch.
Just kind of stretch my arms out in terms of like, being an actor and stuff of that nature. Mm-hmm. And then maybe down the line, if it leads me to that path, then good. If it doesn't, that's whatever. Right? It's an experience. You got one life to live. If you want to get into acting, just get into acting if you want. I got a friend of mine that does something like that. His name's Nappy Chef. He does music, and he also like runs his own like restaurant here in East Charlotte.
That's cool.
And everything. Yeah. Wait, where are you from? You're in Charlotte, right?
No, I'm actually I'm from Baltimore, but I live in Philly.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's probably
so that's why I'm like, this is a dope connection, because I found you on the gram and shit.
Yeah, no. It can be like that. I mean, it's just like that explains why we're still doing it on Zoom and everything. So it was like, it's just like, but yeah, man. In my hometown, there's a guy named Nappy Chef here. He does a restaurant, and like he's starting to do music videos and everything. I could send you like his IG and everything.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
he's really he runs his own restaurant and everything. I need to go by there and try out some of his food because I had him on the podcast a couple episodes prior. And he's getting into acting also. So it's just like, it's kind of up and it's stuck. It's the 2020s. The whole COVID thing is starting to die down just a little bit, I think. But it's just like, it's just like you really gotta really put your foot down on all the things you want to accomplish and everything.
Exactly, and they will definitely come to pass. It will definitely come to pass.
It could definitely do so and everything. But it's like, if there are any other roles that you want to be in, like whatever roles like under the next 6 minutes, because it's that they cut out. But if you're like, is there any other type of roles that you want to play or act in, in the future, hopefully?
So I definitely see myself in like a superhero movie. Definitely see myself in a superhero movie. But I also kind of want to be in like Power. I want to be in the Power universe at some point. So however I could get in Power, I'm gonna try to get in Power one day.
Yeah, you could definitely get that situated and everything, like for sure. Like at the speed you're going and everything, you're balancing music and you also get into acting yourself. I feel like you can do it. I definitely want to get on into an HBO series. I feel like if I could get onto Euphoria, I feel like everything else would be set for life after that.
Bro, yeah, because those series are classics. Like those are series that people can watch over and over and over again. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta
like the Sopranos and everything. Like,
exactly.
It's just like it was just in that time frame. Like Sopranos were early 2000s, and now Euphoria is like the late 2010s, 2020s. So it's like, I feel like it could definitely be something that could actually happen and stuff of that nature. If you work hard towards it. And it's just like you said that you actually you just hit up somebody up on Facebook and that's how you got into acting pretty much.
So originally, like back back in like 2011, 2012, 13, when they were shooting for I'm sorry, I can't even think of the name of the film right now.
Sorry, take your time. You got like 4 minutes, so it's just like
what is it? The Jake Gyllenhaal film.
Freaking no, the boxing one.
Southpaw. So they kind of were shooting at my school, and like like it was a Facebook advertisement of like, yo, we casting for this. So once I went to the casting or whatever, I kind of stayed in contact with the casting director. But they kind of were like just moving around a lot. But when I saw Junk in the Trunk, it was on Facebook too. Like it was just another little Facebook promotion for the film, and I just kind of went after it. But again, I did have some experience with this casting director before. Like that's why I'm like, you really want to build like a little Excel sheet of different casting directors to kind of keep in touch with them, because when they're casting for films, if you're the person that you kind of been keeping in contact with, they'll send you those opportunities like before everybody else. So that's why it's like a good opportunity to do that. But I would say like places like Facebook and like Backstage, that's where I get most of my opportunities to be in films and stuff.
Okay, cool. I'm actually thinking about making like a separate email just for casting and stuff like that, because I know it's like, it's just, I think I applied for something like some kind of ad one time, but I use like my Beats email and everything to be like the email I usually use to save up beats and stuff of that nature and instrumentals for like future rap songs or whatever. So I feel like I could get lost in the shuffle. So I think I'm just gonna make an email just focus on casting opportunities and stuff of that nature and just keep up with that.
You should, bro.
Yeah, man, it's just like, it's just, I feel like, it's always been something I've been meaning to do for like a real long time and everything. And it's just like, for me to know so much and be so interested and then just be like, okay, but whatever, I'm gonna just sit on my ass or whatever. It just doesn't seem like me. So it's just like, I feel like it's just gonna be like baby steps type thing. Let me just kind of like, get my feet wet with it and just see where I take it and things of that nature. And if it really becomes something that I could feel like it could be like a part of my life, I just pretty much, take it from there and stuff of that nature. But tell you what, I'm gonna just end this Zoom like right now and everything, so we can hop back on, so it don't cut us off and everything. Is that all right with you, Doc?
Yeah, that work out.
All right, cool. I'm gonna just end it right quick and we're gonna hop on in a little bit. All right.
Perfect.
I see you for part 2. All right. All right, we've been speaking a whole lot about like your whole acting career. Like literally, we could be talking about it like all night if you want to. But let's try to transition into your music career. You know, like what got you interested in get into music and stuff of that nature?
Yo, it's crazy because like what kind of started me was like growing up, like I was homeless at one point. And
Mm.
like the for one of the first gifts my mom ever got me was like a and rest her soul too. One of the first gifts she ever got me was a Walkman, right? So she used to always give me R&B CDs. So I was listening to like Usher and Marvin Gaye and shit like that. But when my mom met my stepdad or whatever, he was like a big Jay-Z and Ludacris fan. And like he kind of was the first person to kind of like play rap near me. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So got once I kind of like heard what rap was, I would like try to memorize the lyrics and write them in my notebook so I could kind of see what they look like. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm a visual learner. So if I could memorize it and put it in my notebook, my idea was I could learn how to write a rap. Like, you know what I mean? So I would do that and I would just memorize all these raps and shit like that. And I just kind of would write. Like I just would write raps, write raps, write raps. And I remember like one year my mom, she got me like a cassette player or whatever, and I was like recording demos on it and shit like that. So I felt like all my life I kind of been trying to make music in a sense. Like, you know what I mean? So it kind of just grew from that. And then when I went to college, my mindset was always like if I build if I build the pieces to creating successful rollouts, like I could be in music long term because like music is expensive. Like you got a lot of stuff that you got to pay for, music videos, graphic designers, throwing shows, everything. So my mindset was like if I could put the pieces around me, I could like make a push or whatever. And I've been able to do so. So I'm just grateful. I'm just thankful for it.
That's wonderful, man. That's crazy. That's the cool thing about music. It can take you from very humble beginnings and it can get you past some of the hardest times. As I mentioned, like, as you mentioned, you said like you're like homeless at one point and everything. That's crazy and everything.
Yeah, bro.
Not a lot of people can come back like from homelessness and keep it going. I know you'd say you're in a much more positive position right now, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like own a home and everything like that. So I feel like I've definitely like grew up and like been through a lot of shit, but I feel like it just make your story more relatable. It give you a story to tell, like you know what I mean. Like so, I don't really feel bad for anything that I've been through. It's just it just taught me how to kind of maneuver life, if that makes sense. And then I feel like the my style of music is like moody music with like flowing bars. I don't necessarily feel like I'm like a pain rapper or anything like that. I feel like I kind of just like set a mood and then just kind of like try to play with it as much as I can. Like I would say like I'm a rapper and a singer a little bit. And I would just say my music is the type of music that you kind of like listen to in your car when you're going for drives. Like you know what I mean? So I try to like have a balance in it, but I also like to say stuff that people could put as a caption too, if that makes sense. So that's how I would describe it.
Oh yeah, surely. The two projects I see right here, like on your YouTube channel for sure, is like one's Nightcrawler and the one is NO. I only listened to Nightcrawler so far. Maybe I could probably check out NO later on. It's just I've interviewed so many artists and everything. I'm thinking I'm about to just make a playlist and just put in all your songs, just one big playlist.
Bro, you should, bro. You definitely should. I definitely want to be an joint. But
Oh yeah.
to talk about night art, so I started with my project No, that was in 2019. And it was a 4-song EP. And like outside of this, I got a company called High Level Company, and what we are we're basically like an entertainment management company. And what we do is we manage the rollout for projects. So whether it be an album or whether it be like a product that you have, we kind of like help with the rollout so that you can get leads for whatever you're selling or whatever you want people to kind of receive from you. And when I put No out, that was because like we started our concert series, which is Pretty Girls Love Weed. And it was a way for me to kind of like promote the project through the events. So the songs that I was promoting during the songs I was performing that time were those songs. So I kind of just put them together as an EP. And from there, I went to like Love is a Drug. That's like another little EP I put out. And then it's my little album now called Nightcrawler. And the thought process behind Nightcrawler was like I feel like I work my best at night. Like a lot of people are probably like early birds and stuff like that, but I feel like I'm a night crawler in the sense of like all my connections come at night. Like whether it may be like sending emails out at night or whether it may be like working at podcast at night. You know what I mean? Everything, all my best relationships have developed at night. And I feel like I've always been kind of like moving around in the dark. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm one of those people that's like influential, but people haven't heard of yet. So I feel like the Nightcrawler kind of like displayed that, and I feel like it's only in any moment I'm gonna be able to pop out. If that makes sense. Like Nightcrawler, I'm gonna be able to just teleport out. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
that
like
was kind of like the mindset behind it.
Yeah, man, that's actually really cool. I really like the whole Sex Money and Weed song, Paid in Full, Sosa, and everything. I feel like Sex Money and Weed got some really, really good bass in it. So like, I like songs like that, really good bass in it. Like when I'm listening to the car and everything. That's what I like. That's why I feel like that's the best time to listen to some other artists and everything when I get it. Really listen to a project when I put it on Oscord in my car. So it's just like I ain't got nothing else to focus on but the road and like the song. So it's
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I appreciate that. And it's dope because Sex Money Weed was a song that I kind of recorded. I recorded that joint in 2015. So it took a minute for me to actually like put it took a minute for me to find a body of work that it would fit with. So that's why I'm like, all right, I'm glad that it kind of like was one of the songs that people was really, really feeling.
Yeah, that's cool. So wait, you recorded in 2015, you just had it sitting till 2022?
Yeah. So it's crazy because like when it comes to music, like I feel like I'm a person that like when I think about albums and stuff like that, like the title would come to me first. And then how I want to fill out the album will come in the song process. So it's like, for instance, like Nightcrawler. The title came to me actually in 2020, right? So I was recording music. I was recording music in 2015. I was going to drop like an EP or whatever. But during that time, I was kind of like in this group or whatever. So we dropped like a thing called High Level Radio. It was like our brand tape or whatever. And I recorded Sex Money Weed, but I'm like, yo, this song doesn't fit the tape. Like, you know what I mean? And then No came out and I was like, it don't fit No. And then I'm like, Love is a Drug came out then. It didn't fit Love is a Drug. But then when I got around like 2020, when I started recording like the songs for Nightcrawler or whatever, it just fit with the other songs. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, bet. So I got songs that I recorded probably like in 2010 that haven't came out because I haven't felt the pieces that go around it per se. Like, you know what I mean? So I could probably go on a run if I wanted to of just dropping singles. But I feel like I'm the type of person that like, I like projects. Like, you know what I mean? I like completing the thought all the way through before, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a single only give you like a reference, but like the thought is Nightcrawler. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta sit with the thought. Like, what is it? Like, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm kind of like a project guy. So I'll have another one coming out at the end of the year. And I just kind of keep pushing it. But Sex Money Weed, yeah, that was 2015, man. 2015.
Yeah, dude, that's really, really cool, man, that you got your concept set up like that. You know, I'm more of a project dude myself and everything. I have beats saved like on flash drives and on my computer.
Exactly.
And I would like take the beats out and I would just put it in a file, like, okay, this will be like the name of this a project, you know, just to shoot for a certain sound. Like it has a more like, you know, a lot of my I try to configure what the sound of the project is, the concept of the project before I even write a song. You know, that's just how I do things and everything. So it's just like, like I feel like singles, if I had to really go to make it like a streak of singles and everything, I feel like they'll start off as singles, but I feel like eventually I'll put them like in a project, like I'll release them and then re-release them for a project. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
like something about putting it like in a collection of like a collection of songs and everything. I feel like it'll be easier for like the audience to kind of like really like, really take it all
Exactly.
in,
Like it give them something to like feel like they kind of like vibe with you a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then another thing that I like about it is that different songs resonate with different people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then like when you do a project, it's kind of like cheating in a sense because like the way like one little tip I tell artists when they doing rollouts is like you gotta have like a leading song, like you gotta have a song that's like the soundtrack for everything. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when you establish that song, the other songs will kind of be like when people kind of listen to you, if they find something that they like within that, that's how they develop into becoming a fan of you, if that makes sense. Like you catch them with the leading song, and if they fuck with that song, and you got like two other songs that they may like would listen to like here and there, like, or if they could find the space in their life for the song, then they'll start gravitating towards you as a fan. Like, so what I mean is that like
Hold on 1 second, sir. I'm sorry. My bad for that. My
no, you
mom,
good, bro.
my mom was trying
No,
to
you
give me
good,
some
bro.
some earrings. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. Thank
You
you, I
good,
guess.
bro.
But anyway, yeah, go on. Like, on why you
So,
like record
so it's like,
projects? Yeah.
so it's like, for instance, like Sex Money Weed. Like, I've been told that like people listen
One
to it in the
second.
gym.
Hold on 1 second. My bad. My
It's
bad.
good.
I really am sorry about this. My bad for that. We're back in business. My bad.
Perfect,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Not no more distractions. It's fine. It's fine.
No, you good, bro. So what I mean is like when people find a place for the song in their life, that's when they become like a fan. And the way that so for instance, like Sex Money Weed, like a lot of people that listen to that song, they tell me that they listen to it in the gym when they like working out and shit like that. So they found a place for the song in their life, but the song that caught their attention was the song Sosa. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like once you get catch attention and then find a place in somebody's life, now they gonna kind of check for you from time to time. So that's kind of like the goal with the project. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what happens. Like, when you really grow, build a connection with like the artists that you're interested in. Because that's kind of how I start really getting deeper and deeper into hip hop. It really started when I got an MP3 player and everything, and I found like a CD with a Tupac's greatest hits, like the second CD, not the first one. It was just the second CD I had. So just constant repeat. I'm listening to Brenda's Got a Baby. I'm listening to Troublesome. I'm listening to California Love. I'm listening to Live and Die in LA. I'm listening to, all sorts of stuff. But it's just like that's what got me immersed and more interested in hip hop because I saw so many different dimensions of hip hop into one like CD. It was like a storytelling song one moment, a song about venting in one moment. There's just another song about, just appreciating where you're coming from. A song about, just paying homage to your mother. Before Tupac, before I even introduced myself into hip hop, I kind of saw rap and hip hop. It's just something like you listen on BET, like 106 and Parley. It was just like, just songs you just groove to and stuff like that. You maybe play like at events and everything. People dance to. I didn't really see it as like something that I would like, immerse my life into until I really started listening to Tupac. Next thing you know, I started writing my own raps and then my own
See?
poetry. And then I started performing these raps in career class, so it's just like, it really helped serve me in life where it just helped me in like very rough patches in my life. So it's just like, I dedicate that all to Tupac and like, Biggie Smalls kind of helped me really like immerse myself in the sense, this is something that I can do also. So it's just like, before you really, that's why projects are so important. And that was just a compilation, like once you really delve deeper into what an artist can do or what that artist represents to you, later on you'll start like really delving yourself and finding connections with that also. So that's why I'm more of like a project person like myself. It's just
I totally agree with you, bro. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, and everything. So it's like when it comes to like hip hop as a whole, how do you feel like what experience do you feel like hip hop has really brought to you, like in your lifetime and everything? You know, like building
I
connections
feel
of that nature. Yeah.
I feel like it kind of taught me how to kind of like look at life in a sense, and I mean that by like the stuff that a lot of people rap about. Sometimes, of course, sometimes it's fictionalized, but it's still real in the sense of like these are real concepts that people got faced. Like when people rap up, like in Philly, you'll hear a lot of pain songs, and it's pain in Philly, like you know what I mean. So it kind of gave me like a direction of what's out here. So how to protect myself a little bit. So I always felt like hip hop was kind of like a protection piece because it tell you what's going on and how to like see the next day in a sense. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like of course, like, people say that they get like influenced to do different things from it, but it always influenced me in the sense of motivation because it showed me that like communication is like so pivotal. And like the better you can communicate, like the more doors that could open up for you. So I feel like it showed me communication and like protection a little bit. So and I feel like people need to like find they need to like listen to artists and kind of like really like dive deep into what they talking about because like they give you keys to how they got there, like what their life was um, like things to look out for, and it motivates you to kind of like see that other side of life because a lot of rappers and stuff like that, they didn't necessarily come from the best upbringings and stuff like that, but they're disciplined to the craft and their want for more kind of like open the doors for them, like you know what I mean. So I think that that's always going to be motivational to me because to be able to communicate your way all the way to the top is just like a crazy thing, like you know what I mean. I just think it's crazy, like to be able to like write a verse and people listen to it and people want to see you win because you could write good shit. Like that's crazy to me. Like you know what I mean. So it's just dope to me all around.
Yeah, man, like the artistry, like with each rapper and everything, and it's just like I see hip hop as like a giant quilt. You know, if I were to
Mm-hmm.
say like a giant quilt, like because it's just like even like with our influences that influence us, like from other artists, whether it be like a Lil Wayne or Biggie Smalls, a Tupac, or whether a Big Daddy Kane or KRS-One or whatever. I feel like it's the same material, but it's just patched differently, and each artist just represents their own patch or their own stories and everything, and we're all just interconnected that way. So it's just like the connection we make with friends, all the other songs that we listen in our past that kind of like probably like influences our style today. It just goes on and on and on. That's why I love like hip hop like as a genre as a whole, because I feel like it's that one genre I feel that can transcend for like decades and decades further, even when we're all gone. Or whatever. It's just like because
Right.
there's so much you can put out there, so much you can try. It might go like in different trends for like like from one decade to another, but it's just something that I feel like I don't feel like would ever die down. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's never going to die down, man.
I don't
It's
think it
never
will.
going to die down. You know what made me know it's never going to die down when like pop artists start putting rappers on their songs.
Mm,
Like that's what showed me like, damn, like we might got the best genre in the world. Like you know what I mean? Like we might actually have it because like for like a Katy Perry to put um
Kanye West.
yeah, like to put a kind, like you know what I mean, bro? That's crazy when you think about that. Like
We
that's
became pop.
crazy. Like
We became pop when you
yeah,
think
we
about it.
became the new pop. So it's like once that migration started to happen, I'm like, yeah, it's over. Like it's over. Like rappers gonna live forever. Like yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing that I really dislike about hip hop and everything is it's just like really just a lack of security with it. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just like jealousy. People get jealous within it. People try to like break down, try to assassinate each other's character. People try to just all types of childish stuff that you don't see in country music or rock music.
Yeah.
Even pop music. I feel like all the drama happens like in rap and hip hop. The East Coast, West Coast thing that happened in the '90s that ended up having Biggie and Tupac killed. Two artists that had their whole lives ahead of them and whatnot, but now they couldn't even live out their lives because it's just like y'all had to be selfish in the media trying to push this and see if they can make money off this. And like two people had to bury their children, a brother and a friend, and they had to bury them all just because you had to make a joke out of the thing. And it's like I can't help but like think that maybe like at the same time, while hip hop is truly one of like the most one of the most highest valued of genres, it's also like kind of like a big commodity to that degree too, because it's just like I feel like some of us as artists don't really take the thing serious to the point where it's just like we can just everybody can be successful in this genre. Everybody, I truly believe that. And it's just when I see like the likes of people trying to hate on other people, trying to diss each other, trying to like compete against each other in like the most low blow type of ways, I can't help but just weep and like not weep, we like cry, but just weep like internally, like wow, like this is how things is like right now. Like we didn't learn anything, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it's just something that we just need to we really need to like really cut that off and everything, it's just
It's definitely not for the faint of heart, man. Like it's hard. Like it's a real competitive sport. Every day somebody is trying to prove themselves, not just in rapping, but like in the perceived, lifestyle of rapping. Like, you know what I mean? So it's hard for a rapper. You know what I'm saying? They say it's one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. You know what I'm saying? We're right.
I don't feel like it should be that way no more, but sadly
It
it is.
shouldn't because of the different spaces of rap. But at the end of the day, like like to be the best rapper, like people gotta want to be you and listen to you. I feel like, and like I feel like
That comes with a
you
lot of
can't.
jealousy with it.
Yeah, you can't have like men, like men, us, like we have our own prides. Like you know what I mean. So to convince men to follow you is in itself like one of the hardest things in the world. So to do that, you got to prove yourself. You know what I'm saying? And if proving yourself, like if proving yourself is not always a beautiful looking thing. Like you know what I mean? Like unfortunately. So it kind of like I'm not gonna say I kind of agree with the stuff you gotta go through in this genre of music, but like I kind of feel like you gotta like your mindset gotta be to protect yourself at all times so that you can get to the next level. Cause it's hard because you gotta think everybody trying to get to that next level. Like I watched this interview from Benny the Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, he a rapper out of Buffalo and shit. He a big ass rapper.
Yeah, I know who
But
Benny the Butcher is.
he crazy, like so, and he was saying that like do what you gotta do to get to the other side because for you to go through everything that because like the same shit that's gonna happen on that side happens to you on this side.
Mm.
Like so if you can't get through it on this side, you definitely not gonna be able to get through it when all the world looking at you on the other side. That makes sense. Like I've been dissed. I've been in fights because of music. I've been in shows where next thing you know, niggas start popping off, acting crazy. I had niggas hating on me on the gram and all that crazy shit. Like
This is
all
crazy.
that crazy shit. Like you know what I mean. And I'm not even nobody. Like you know what I mean. Like so
I wouldn't say you're nobody. I feel like you're
no, but
definitely like
no, I
on
feel
your
like
way.
yeah, definitely on my way. But I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, like I'm just doing my little thing in my little corner, like you know what I mean. So to have to like be in battles with niggas or fight niggas because like they don't like something that you said or you work with like or you work with somebody and then like the work didn't come out right, so now y'all have beef with each other. It's just like you gotta get that. You gotta get that tough skin so that you can make it on the other side because it really is worse on the other side. Like one of my best friends, he works for Atlantic Records as a rollout manager,
Mm.
right? And he tells me just these stories of like disputes over contracts that turn bad. Next thing you know, niggas is in trouble with people. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like it just don't stop. And then another thing about it is, like, the people that's in this sport of hip hop, they don't come from the best background. So just because you put somebody in a new environment don't mean
Then they leave all that crazy stuff
yeah,
behind.
you see what I mean? Like, they don't just leave that at home. Like, that's what got them to where they are. So in a lot of people's minds, to change that is going to put them back where they were, if that makes sense. So it's a lot of stuff that go with that shit, man. There's a lot of stuff that go with it, but I feel like it's worth it if you get to the other side. Because if you get to the other side,
mm-hmm.
if you get to the other side, man, it's like you really gonna get the benefits of being one of the, like, being in, like, I think about it like the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
even if you're not one of the most, even if you're not one of the 75 greatest players of all time,
Mm-hmm.
if you were in the NBA, it's like a fraternity that everybody can't be in. If that makes sense. Like, you know what I
No,
mean?
no, I
So
know.
it's
It's
like,
just like you're being in a different class, but it's like the
yeah,
crazy thing
like,
about hip hop is that everybody's path is so different. You know what I'm saying? It's just
exactly.
like you'll have a Mac Miller. You never heard Mac Miller beefing with nobody. You know, you never heard Mac Miller getting into fights with nobody, and he had a pretty
That we
damn
know
good
of,
career
that we know of.
that we know
But
of.
I feel like the sport kind of, it's like hockey a little bit. Like, in
Yeah,
hockey, you don't gotta fight somebody. Like, you know what I mean? But
it's just
the
part of the
sport,
environment.
yeah, the environment creates that. So I think Mac Miller probably had a beef with somebody. We probably just ain't never hear about it. But then again, like, if you know, then again, it's like, if you really are a Mac Miller fan, you gonna know his come up. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a Travis Scott fan, right?
Yeah.
No, matter of fact, I'm gonna use another rapper for instance. I'm a
Have you
Vori
seen that
fan.
documentary on Netflix with Travis Scott?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, I liked it. I thought
bro.
it was cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use this guy named Vori for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Vori, he got signed to Dream Chasers, which is Meek Mill label or whatever.
Yeah.
He from Louisiana, Louisville. He from Louisville, the
Mm.
same place Bryson Tiller from. You know who Bryson Tiller is?
Yeah, I know Bryson Tiller.
So so on Vori's first album, right? The last song he says on there, Bryson Tiller was supposed to come back and bring him up with him. But when Bryson Tiller got signed, he never came back for Vori.
Mm.
Like 10 years later, Vori gets signed to Dream Chasers. You see what
Mm.
I'm saying? So it's like imagine that though. Like, you know what I mean? Imagine like your man get on, he say, yo, I got you. And he don't got you. Like, you know what I mean? But you still gonna press towards it and then you make it there too. Like, it's
Yeah.
like the sport is crazy. Like, like, you
No,
know what I
really.
mean?
But
Like,
it's just like that's why I want to stay as independent as possible and everything. Because the whole
mm-hmm.
getting signed to the people that you look up to, things like I feel like that can fall through too. You know, and it can
Yeah.
never be pretty. Like you try to work with your idols and everything, and then like shit, you probably might not agree. We all know what happened with the whole Game versus 50 Cent situation,
Yeah.
and like like he was having issues with Dr. Dre and stuff of that nature. You know, that stuff could really cut deep and everything when you look up to
You're
people
right.
and then like, you have a dispute. You know, like if I were to make it to that stage, I feel like my biggest issues, like, or not my biggest concerns or whatever, but just stuff that I feel like I need to work on moving forward. Is just like, I'm pretty low key and everything. Like the only thing I do is I work hard, like so. But
Mm-hmm.
there'll always be that one person that be like talking a whole lot of mess or trying to fit in and try to talk hella shit. Like they exist. We have to deal
Yeah.
with them like all types of ways. Like some people are just immature like that. Like I'm just kind of chill. I just work hard on everything I got. I try to work for everything I have to get. And if you say I'm one,
Troll's definitely real.
I try to.
Troll's definitely real.
I'm just kind of like the kind of dude that likes to prove people wrong, but at the same time, I'm not all in your face about it. Like it's just like it's just like hip hop's my passion. That's what I go through. That's why like I interview other artists. That's why it's just like even despite all the shit I've been through, the lack of money I probably had to fund a project, I still try to fund a project. It's just your passion is gonna show regardless.
Exactly.
And that's just how
Exactly.
it is. Some people might get caught up front. earlier than you. Some people might be favored more than you, but at the same token, it's just like, like it's just you got to put your money where your mouth is and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be about who talks shit about who or who, like, all this blah blah blah. Niggas doing the most and everything. And that's the sad thing about hip hop. It's just like you could elevate yourself to such a degree, and people will want to drag you down. And it's just there's no point in that. There's just no point in
Yeah.
that in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is a genre where everybody can make money. If Lil Nas X can make money, if
Exactly.
Mac Miller could have made money, and freaking what Jack Harlow can make money and everything, everybody can be successful. And it's just like, it's just, why can't we just root for each other? I just don't see why that's not why we can't do that. I can never understand stuff like that. I feel like it all comes down to just how the system works with, like, I feel like, it's just there's just certain dichotomies within even like the black community and everything that we need to work on. It's just like, because there's no reason, like, like two people making money should be like um bumping heads over petty stuff, and like freaking like Tim McGraw and Billy Ray Cyrus and don't can make country music and it's all the same, and you never hear about like, oh, whose country music's better or who's what's better or who did what or who's trying to make a sex tape with who's what. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of
No,
embarrassing.
I feel
You
you.
know what I'm saying?
It does get ugly sometimes, but yeah, it's crazy out here. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, it truly is. Okay, we're getting closer to like the ending. I think we're about like a good 7 minutes and everything of that nature. What are some things that like this generation of rap and everything? What are some things that you love, and what are some things that you just kind of you don't have much of a care for?
Could you repeat that again, bro? Like if it went in and out.
Oh, sorry about that. What are some things within the music industry, like hip hop wise? What are some things that you like, and what are some things that you hate under 7 6 minutes?
That's a good question. Like I like I'm gonna keep I like building a community around what I think in my music.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's cool. Like meeting like when somebody did me and be like, yo, I like a song. And I can like introduce them to other people that like my songs. Like that's kind of cool to me. Or if I could bring them all together for a show, like that's cool to me. Like you know what I mean? Like 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 they want to like they're interacting together because of a thought that we all kind of share. That's why we all fuck with the music. Like you know what I mean? And then I feel like something that I don't like in it is I don't like that in today's time, like it has to be like a gimmick to kind of break through. I don't really like that. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't like
Like
that
it's
at all.
just people trying to be like maybe like little Yachty, little like
Yeah,
I
like
don't
they
mind Lil
try
Yachty.
to
I feel like it's kind of cool that Lil Yachty just wants to have fun and everything, but it's like, I feel
yeah.
like it's just like either have to be a gimmick, I have to be like a thug or this. You can't just say it from like your authentic self, basically what you're saying. Like everybody
Yeah,
has
it's like yeah, I feel like all right. For instance, like let's say like you're a poet. Like I'm pretty sure like lyrics really matter to you and shit.
yeah, sure.
So
Like I
like
like using big words and everything in my music and my raps and everything. Cause
exactly.
it's more expansive. There's always something to use with some kind of combination.
Exactly. So it's like in today's time, like the gimmick is the get like for us like for certain artists like us like that kind of like care about what we say. Like you need like a gimmick to break through, and I don't like that you got to do all the bullshit to break through. Like for instance, like I don't like that like a 6ix9ine could break through, and we know that he can't really rap,
Mm-hmm.
but like
I mean, that's what the thing is. Like, brand and marketing seems to like overlap, actual lyrics and stuff to a certain degree.
exactly,
And it's just
exactly.
like, I feel like that's a good and a bad thing, at the same
Hmm.
time, because of like, it's just like, because even Eminem is like when he drops like an album and everything, everybody feels like this. Not everybody, but it's just like I love Eminem's music. Like I'm gonna get that off my chest. But it's just like, not everybody is gonna love like Eminem's like lyrical like sense. It's just like, I feel like Eminem's just kind of at that level where it's just like, But it's like, you already got all the achievements and everything, blah, blah, blah. You already, it's so easy to them that it's like, we already know what we're going to get. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, when you invest all these new artists, you don't really know where they're going to go or how they're going to be or, stuff of that nature. So it's like branding of like, what they represent and stuff and how you can connect with them. I feel like that's why it kind of outweighs now. So we live in a wonderful time where it's like social media can really help you get your messages out there a lot more frequently compared to back then. We had to literally have to pay to really get your stuff on the radio now. Now it's like we got Spotify, and it's just like, you put stuff out there, you can put your stuff on a playlist and you can get more listeners that way. It's just there's always a way to help get your stuff out there, and that's what I really love about this generation. But at the same time, it exposes all types of people that it's just like you feel like, I don't think I don't know if they should be there or whatever. But yeah, at the same time, like, it's still like if you're a really good, decent rapper, you will get traction regardless. And I believe that's truly true. No matter how slow that process is, I feel like it's better to go slow and like actually have long range and power like a J. Cole or a Lute or everything than to be somebody like a 6ix9ine and then you're up and then like you're gone the next day. Like, who even talks about 6ix9ine? This is the first time someone even like brought up his name and everything. I don't want to shit on 6ix9ine. It's just that's just where it is. If your whole focus is just gaining attention, it's only gonna take you so far.
Exactly. It's crazy out here, bro. But yeah, they break through. They break through for some reason.
Yeah, man, they break through for some reason. But one day, who knows? We might break through. All right, we're getting pretty close. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to like the ending of this episode. So we only got like about a good 2 minutes. You got anything you gotta let the audience know before we dip off and stuff?
I definitely appreciate you for letting me be on the show, bro. I want to let everybody know they can follow me on Instagram at Upallnite shit. That's UPALLNITESHXT. My album Nightcrawler is out right now. Make sure y'all stream that. New music coming soon. Junk in the Trunk, the feature film coming out next year. So make sure y'all tap in with that. And make sure y'all come out to one of our events, man. Pretty Girls Love Weed, Broke Ass Party. We want to see y'all. We want to vibe with y'all. And you got to bring us to NC, bro. You got to bring us out there so we can vibe out.
Yeah, maybe one day. Who knows? It's just like right now I'm kind of humble as it is. I'm just trying to build my brand like brick by brick right now with the whole podcast thing and everything. But it's all a process. Like the more I keep consistent with it, the more it's gonna take me somewhere and stuff of that nature. Maybe who knows? Maybe I'll have connections in North Carolina if I stay in North Carolina. I'm actually thinking about relocating to DC. So it's like, I feel like maybe I might go into hyperdrive in DC, because
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, my dad stays there, so it's just like I'm thinking about maybe going to Howard University, going to grad school over there, continuing my education. That's right now. I'm just kind of chilling right now in North Carolina and Charlotte, and it's just gonna be like that. So it's like I got no complaints, no nothing. I'm just focusing on my future, step by step. But thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. That's episode 88 of the Mental Threats podcast. 88, not double 8. Yeah, that's it for the Mental Threats podcast. We sewing in, now we're sewing out. All right, cool. That's it for the recording.